Okay, so if you're on the internet at all, you've probably seen the things that's been going on with Cenat. But just to give you a quick rundown, he took a break from streaming. He ended up popping back up at the Streamer Awards. Then he ended up announcing he was going through some mental struggles and all of that, saying anime helped him out. That actually triggered a lot of people, especially anime fans, because they felt like he was just bullshitting. This turned into him eventually posting that he was single, which I don't think he should have did, and that he eventually announced that he had something special going on. That something special was a clothing brand. But let's really start off talking about his last relationship. Usually I don't really care to talk about like niggas relationships and shit. That's like some real drama shit. But the reason I even want to say anything is because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this is one of them things that is kind of self-inflicted on his part. And what I mean by that is a lot of people are clowning Kai and like saying, oh, did Gigi cheat on him with fucking NBA YoungBoy? But like we don't really know that, and I feel like it just brings more attention to himself than he really even needed, especially for somebody that's already struggling with their mental health. Like, if it's not bothering him, then at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But in my opinion, especially if I'm already struggling, I would just turn everything off. If I'm still want to post shit, I'd post my shit and then I would just get off the internet. I'm not finna post more shit about, oh, I'm single, I'll never be in a relationship again. That's just gonna cause more people to be fucking annoying, and it's kind of already been happening. It's died down a little bit, but for like a good week or two, it was really bad. So I really don't think he needed to announce his relationship ending to the world for real, because nobody even had to know. Would they have maybe found out eventually? Probably, actually. They probably were like, oh, where's Gigi? Where's Gigi? Whatever. But they still wouldn't have known. You could just not answer until maybe you're feeling better and then it's easier for you to talk about. But hey, maybe that's why he announced it, because it was easy for him to talk about. Maybe it doesn't bother him. But another thing that's happening with him, the reading. Every time I see one of these videos of him reading, the comments are like automatically trolling him and basically just making fun of him. While I think it may be a little funny to poke fun at this nigga for trying to read at the speed of Flash, but it's funny because I know half the people commenting, if you told them to read one page of a book, they sound like that one kid in elementary school that got called on to popcorn read. The only thing is, you could make the argument and say he probably shouldn't post it. I think it's a good thing that his audience is seeing it, because at the end of the day, he is very influential and his young audience might pick up reading because they see their favorite content creator reading. Now, I will say, I do understand the performative talking point, because I'm not gonna lie, every time I see Kai, he just comes off as not very authentic and performative. Like, for example, there's a picture of him with a 3DS in his hand. People zoomed in on the picture, and it's a 3DS with no game cartridge in. Now, is it possible he modded it? Yes, but it's just shit like that. And that's just small shit. That's like, oh, that's just me poking fun at it. He could have just been playing. He probably took the game out. I don't know. It don't matter. But when it comes to like more serious shit, it just feels like very inauthentic with him. Like, it doesn't feel like he's really being dead ass about the things he really wants to be in. Which leads me into the next thing I want to talk about. Is his clothing brand. This has a lot of people dunking on him, especially people in the fashion community, which I'm gonna be honest, I can't really blame them all the way. Now, me personally, I think that if a celebrity wants to get into another lane that's not the main thing they're in, they're allowed to do so. However, I think the problem is when you have too many celebrities trying to get into that lane that they have no business being in, and they're not actually passionate about that shit. Some people have the mindset of like, just let them do whatever they want, they're not hurting nobody. But it actually does end up hurting people. It ends up hurting the people in the space. Like, there's people that genuinely care about these places and spaces, and you coming in and invading this shit with your millions of dollars. There's people that have really care and have devoted time and energy and effort into these spaces, and you're just coming in and just doing whatever the fuck you want because you can afford to do so. What it does is it actually ends up making the industry worse. And when I say industry, I'm not saying just fashion. This can go for everything. Gaming, movies. What it ends up doing is that celebrity will bring their audience and themselves into the space. A lot of time when a celebrity like Kai Cenat, or even bigger than him sometimes, are so big, what ends up happening is their audience will invade it. And then if that celebrity starts to produce something that's not good, sometimes that audience that was really casual to begin with in the space, they only came because of another person that wasn't even an original person from that space. They start to invade it and say, oh, this fell off. And the problem is, you might say, oh, well, does that really matter? But bro, that shit really starts to fucking stick. Niggas try to say gaming done fell off all the fucking time, when obviously this isn't the same thing as a celebrity. They try to say the same thing about rap last year, 2025. They try to say that shit fell off when it fucking didn't. Rap is not in a bad space. Hip hop is not in a fucking bad space. But you will have people saying that that shit fell off. Regardless, though, I understand the criticism for Kai Cenat, because I don't know if he truly cares. I want to say that he's trying, and he does, but I did see a person say that they feel like he stepped into the space and it feels like he's already acting like he really understands it, when he's only been doing it for such a small amount of time. And I kind of gotta agree with that.
Money can buy swag because money can buy you a stylist, and I think Cenat is the perfect example of that. The fact that that dude is starting a clothing brand is a little bit ridiculous. Do I like that people are diversifying their interests? Yeah, dude, I'm a poly artist. I do everything. That's my whole purpose. I love that, but don't pretend like you're about the culture when you're not. It's okay to be on your way. It's okay to be working your way up. It's okay to not know everything yet and want to be a part of something. He could have framed this clothing brand as like, hey man, I don't know a whole lot about fashion. I don't know a whole lot about the community, but I want to be a part of it. I want to pursue this art form because it's cool and it's a beautiful form of self-expression. He could have framed it that way, but instead he's framing himself like he's goddamn Raph Simmons. Instead he's framing himself like he's the next Kanye. Instead he's talking to his phone and showing how much he's performatively reading. It's ridiculous. You can want to pursue new things. I'm all about diversification and everybody starting everything, but don't pretend like you're about it until you are.
Like, it's already been joked about and said that like Kai has a stylist, which I can kind of see that he probably does, because the jump from what he was wearing before into what he's wearing now is such a big jump that I believe he probably did start paying a stylist. But just because you have a stylist doesn't mean you can't want to get more into fashion on your own. But the thing is, I hope that he's just truly passionate about this shit. I really hope his clothing brand and them clothes end up being really good, because oh my god, the internet is gonna be so bad if them clothes don't end up being good.